everybody.
Good morning.
Let's say it again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You got it. Let me rearrange the lectern here and we'll be in good shape. Everybody get your hand out this morning? I wanted to share this with you. This is a excerpt from Sermon by the Sea. How many have heard me do Sermon by the Sea at CMR? I have been doing it at CMR for almost 30 years. It was the last lecture Dr. Holmes gave at CMR right before his passing. He knew how important it was going to be, and he offered that experience to everyone there in the Sermon by the Sea in a very special way. He wanted it to be a charge to all future religious scientists. For the YouTube and for you also, listen to these words. I think we in religious science have brought a blessing into the world. The possibility of something expressing through us that has never happened before been given to the world. A simplicity and sincerity, a trust, and I trust a love and understanding. But we too little practice it because the human mind is prone, even when it discovers a greater good than it had before, to compare the degree of good it thinks it possesses with the lesser good it thinks someone else has. And this is brought about only through the psychological projection of some unredeemed past of a person's own psyche. You will never discover a person who is full of emotional judgment and condemnation of others, who is doing anything other than unconsciously releasing tensions of a burden so great to be borne that it does not even permit it to come to the light of day to be seen, for he could not face it. This has been scientifically proved, and that is why Jesus, with the profoundness of utmost simplicity, did not say, "Judge not lest ye will judge, or God will judge you." He knew better. He said, "Judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged." It would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. That's an interesting charge, isn't it? We're moving into the new year. And every time we do this, we always have within our experience the experience of resolutions. How many made a resolution at least once in your life? I heard somebody say, they pointed out that the places where people go to work out, all these gyms and places where people go, said January is full. It reduces in February, and by March it's back to where it was in December. Anyhow, and how many have done that? You say, "Oh, I'm going to sign up at the gym and get some," and then all of a sudden, well, I haven't done that in a year. I think I'll do it this year. Well, the challenge here, everyone say, "I choose to be new in the now. I choose to be new in the now. Love what I discover. Love what I discover. Give my best to it. Give my best to it. Observe what I don't want anymore. Release what set it in motion. Set something new in motion. And have a new experience." See, and that's where we go in this thing called life, if we let go and let the beautiful in us, as us, go upward and onward. Upward and onward is a good concept to explore metaphysically, primarily because upward and onward is the experience of the metaphysical mind. Dr. P.D. Ouspensky, back at the turn of the century, pointed out that what we're dealing with, if we want to explain it to ourselves, is the law of octaves. Everybody say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Everybody say it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Everybody say, when I reach the last note, I'm at the first note of the next scale. See, and that's the way consciousness works. We go up, and then we go forward. Dr. Holmes said religious science is a teaching ministry. We're not a preaching ministry. We're not here to train anybody. You got it? We're here to educate. We're not here to train. How many were raised in something that was training you? He was training you to believe like everybody else believes, conform to what everybody else conforms. You see, Dr. Home pointed out, he said that we have the biggest challenge in the world. In 1947, when they convinced him to let this become a church, he said this: we have an interesting challenge ahead of us, primarily because you're asking yourself to organize a group of people you're teaching to be individuals. See, our challenge is to do what? Find the best within ourselves and then give it, primarily because nothing in the world can give it the way you can. No one else can be what you can be the way you can be it. Emerson said if there were two of anything, there wouldn't be any use for one of them. And this great-grandfather of our teaching was very, very clear. He said imitation is suicide. So our challenge is to be the best we know how to be, let it happen within our heart and mind, and then give birth to it as experience, and then choose to do something. I am thankful, I am so grateful for the Spirit all around me. I trust in what? Okay, now what is awakening? Awakening is, first, understand principle, understand what operates in you as you, and then what? Trust your understanding. How many people do you know who understand it, but they don't trust it? They affirm there's one life, it's God, it's my life, with God, all things are possible, and then they doubt their ongoingness. They doubt their possibilities. They doubt their next idea. For 30, you ready for this? 7. This is our 37th year. I've been standing in this, 37 years ago, I drove into this town. There was no religious science in our wonderful church in San Jose with Dr. Robert Scott. Told everybody there, everybody who lives in Fremont, go support Jay starting his new church. And my whole first board came from the San Jose church, who lived in Fremont. And I love the San Jose church and honor Dr. Robert Scott and Janelle and Coco. In fact, I just got an email from Coco. She said, tell everybody we love you. And she's out in Atlanta singing her heart out and making good living doing it. So good for Coco and Mickey and all of those people. How many know Coco and Mickey Donuts? You know, anyhow. So we find ourselves doing what? Trusting in principle. Now, if we trust in it, we need to trust the realization that if I'm trusting in it, I'm trusting in myself, because it is everything I am. It is everything I am. I'm not my confusion, my doubt, my fear, my reasons for being unhappy, my reasons for resentment, my reasons for whatever it is, non-forgiveness or anything else that's limiting me. Go back in your yesterday. If you had something happen this year, whatever happened and whatever they did, return to them. What do you want to return to you? Think about it and give that. How many want love to return to you? Success to return to you? Possibility, faith, belief. You see, it's hard to believe in other people. We can't believe in ourselves. Our wonderful past president, Dr. Kennedy Schultz, and I love Kennedy, as Cynthia did also. She knows, how many know she trained with Kennedy Schultz, where she got all of her classwork, and I am very glad that Kennedy was there for her. I observed Kennedy was an advertising agent and studied with Dr. Raymond Charles Barker in New York City and goes to Atlanta, Georgia. He called Dr. Barker and he said, there's no religious science in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Barker said, you're in Atlanta, Georgia. And so he started his work in Atlanta, Georgia, and Kennedy progressed in our movement to the point where he became president, and I was very, very fortunate to be in that time. I was his sponsor and friend, and when he became president of the organization, I became first vice president, and we served this great organization in a beautiful way, and I know we both learned from each other. He said once, you want to be healed, you don't want to be cured. He said to cure something, you take a piece of meat, inject it with a foreign substance into it, and hang it in a dark place for a long time. That's being cured. Everyone say, I choose healing. Now, in religious science, we know that in truth, if we're going to trust principle, everyone say, there's nothing to heal. There's only an idea to change. You see, once the idea is believed in, trusted in, and becomes your way, then that idea becomes the cause of a new experience. It becomes a cause of, you can sing, Old Lang Syne to your yesterday. And you can free yourself from it. And if there was anything negative in the past year and whatever, and you're here this morning and you can affirm, I believe and trust what I know I am, I honor what I know I am, I appreciate what I know I am, what a thing I am, and I now go forward with this understanding, you have to understand it took every second of your life to get you to this point where you can say, I appreciate what I know I am. It took all of it. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Somebody's good and somebody else is not so good. We celebrated yesterday morning, and I appreciate how many were here yesterday morning. We had a wonderful turnout. It was great. And I shared being on the internet. Internet, what a great... I have spiritual teachers all over the world communicate with me, from India, from all over the place, and I have a wonderful group